Infill development is the building of condos, apartments, homes, or other living spaces on blighted or vacant lots in urban areas. A recent report by the advocacy group Circulate San Diego touts infill development as a water-efficient way to deal with housing during the drought. My guest, Colin Parent, co-authored the report. And Colin, what are some of the key findings in this report on how infill developments can actually impact water use?
Well, one of the biggest findings is pretty intuitive, and that's that infill development, like condos and apartments, tend to use less water than alternative developments just because they don't have as large of yards or outdoor spaces. And outdoor spaces and lawns can actually make up about 50 to 70% of a home's water usage.
Now, a counterintuitive idea is that, but if you're putting up a 15 or 15 unit complex where there's going to be a lot of people in it, where there used to be, you know, a barren lot, a parking lot, something like that with no people, that would actually increase water consumption. So how would that be, how is that water conservation addressed?
Yeah, well, so the alternative to that is not that those people aren't going to exist. It's that they're going to live somewhere else. And they're going to live somewhere farther away where they're more likely to have a larger yard and they're more likely to be using more water in a less efficient way.
So further away, and I understand that some of that is how far the water has to travel as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. Our researcher, Joe Cosgrove, who put together the bulk of the report for us, found something that I was unaware of, and that's really that pipes actually leak a lot of water. It's somewhere between 6 and 25%. And the longer those pipes are, the more likely that they are going to leak. And so when you're building projects farther and farther away from the center of cities, that actually means you're going to be wasting water, not just on yards, but also just on the conveyance of the water to get there.
Well, one of the reasons for these developments expanding out in sort of the fringe areas or going further and further away from downtown is cost. I saw a infill project on Bankers Hill where rent prices for the apartments were between $2,000 and nearly $8,000 a month. So how do infill developments meet affordable housing standards?
Well, so a lot of the affordable housing that is coming online is infill development, and they have to go through, if a developer is going to build affordable housing, subsidized affordable housing, they have to go through the same development process that a market rate development does. And they oftentimes get the same sort of pushback and concern about water usage that a market rate developer would. And so if we really want to embrace this concept of preserving water by including infill development, that actually helps out the developer who's building that affordable development.
To allow for more affordable homes. Yeah. What are some of the big concerns or complaints you're hearing about infill developments, if there are any?
Well, we do hear some complaints, and that's part of why we're putting this report out, is that we're hearing from developers who are trying to do new infill projects that sometimes the neighbors are saying, hey, you shouldn't build this thing. We don't have enough water in the region to build it. And we're trying to help inform that conversation so that the developer can communicate with the neighbors, and the neighbors can understand for themselves that there's actually a water benefit to this more compact infill development.
And the people that you say are coming, if there's not enough water, why are these people coming to San Diego?
Well, so some of them are coming to San Diego because who doesn't want to come to San Diego? But most of the growth in San Diego is actually just from natural reproduction. And we're not going to get people to stop reproducing just by not allowing new infill development. So the people are going to be, our population is going to grow one way or another. The question for us is, are we going to develop for them in a water efficient way or an inefficient way?
And what about single family homes? We're talking about these complexes with less yard. Do single family homes fit into the infill idea?
Sure. And so some of the single family homes are coming up in an infill context in an existing developed area. And most of those tend to be smaller and have smaller yards than the alternatives that are farther afield. And also a lot of the new development for single family and for home ownership tend to be like row homes and townhomes, and those also maybe they have yards, but they're much smaller.
How would you like to see this report used here in San Diego County?
Well, hopefully it educates people. Hopefully it lets people understand that there are better ways to protect water than by just saying no to development, and then also to help inform those conversations when a developer is trying to go into an existing place and trying to develop a new cool walkable project, so they can have that conversation with potentially skeptical neighbors.
All right. Well, we have the complete water infill report on our website, kpbs.org. Colin Parent,